I want to deal head on today with a lie so corrosive and so ridiculous, and yet somehow still making headway among the American right wing that we should look at it and take it head on. This is the lie that there are states that allow so-called post-birth abortions. Now, as a linguistic phenomenon, this doesn't make sense because post-birth and abortion are not compatible words. It's not a thing. But we, I think, understand what they mean when they say a post-birth abortion, saying that you can kill children after they've been born. I'm going to give you just one example of this. We did see this yesterday. This was the Ron DeSantis interview. Or no, we looked at this late last week. The Ron DeSantis interview with Jake Tapper. Here, Ron DeSantis talks about so-called post-birth abortions. Jake Tapper, I think, knows this is a lie, doesn't interfere with the lie. Here's a reminder.
You recently signed a 6-week abortion ban in Florida. Yes or no, would you support that as a nationwide ban?
So I said I'm pro-life. I will be a pro-life president, and we will support pro-life policies. At the same time, I look at what's going on in the Congress, and, I don't see them, making very much headway. I think the danger from Congress is if we lose the election, they're going to try to nationalize abortion up until the moment of birth. And in some liberal states, you actually have post-birth abortions. And I think that that's wrong.
There you go. I think it's wrong to kill children. What a brave and courageous position. So this is a lie. Now, I could give you dozens of other examples of this. Trump has said it. Others have said it. They love this talking point. Killing an infant after birth is infanticide. It's illegal in all 50 states. Even situations that result in a fetal death in the third trimester are extraordinarily rare. According to reproductive health experts, they usually involve emergencies, a fatal anomaly, life-threatening complications affecting the mother. But these are extraordinarily rare situations, even in the third trimester. Women seeking abortions in the third trimester are extraordinarily rare, and we will talk about that in a moment. But what they are talking about doesn't exist. Now, you could have a life-threatening situation where an expecting mother is induced into labor using Pitocin is typically the medication that's used. And you may have a situation where a newborn, because of these rare situations, has a very short life expectancy where it may be a question of this infant may live for hours. And in those cases, a family might say, please provide palliative care, meaning care to address the comfort and symptoms of this essentially non-viable infant, and provide comfort because it's a matter of hours anyway. And again, those are extraordinarily rare situations, but you are not talking about killing an infant. Lois Shepard, University of Virginia law and biomedical ethics professor, said, quote, "No state allows post-birth abortions. First, an abortion refers to terminating a pregnancy, and a pregnancy does not continue after birth. But second, that would be killing a born human being who is a person entitled to the equal protection of the laws, including prohibitions against murder. No state permits infanticide." I actually think that the post-birth abortion thing, as ridiculous as it is a distraction from another important reality about abortion. Abortion at month 8 or 9 is insanely rare. And it is even more rare that a woman at 8.5 months pregnant would show up at her OB's office and say, I changed my mind. I'd like an abortion. When we hear the testimony of OBGYNs, they explain that doesn't happen. And they almost universally say, we have never had this happen, and we don't know anyone who has had it happen. And if it were to happen, most OBGYNs would not even do it. Now, I know people will write to me and they'll go, well, Dr. So-and-so does on-demand abortions at 9 months. Okay. The testimony of the overwhelming number of OBGYNs is essentially doesn't happen. Even if it did, we wouldn't do it in that situation unless we're talking about we discover some extraordinary anomaly of a non-viable pregnancy. So post-birth abortion, linguistically ridiculous, not a thing, also not legal in any states, be they blue or red. We need to teach kids to think critically and independently, and we aren't doing a good enough job of it. I have a book right here that teaches kids critical thinking. I wrote this book, and it's available on Amazon at davidpakman.com/book. This is told through the story of a kid detective. The idea is critical thinking, thinking independently is like solving a mystery. Getting clues, evaluating them, thinking through scenarios. The right knows that when kids think critically, they don't end up being Republicans when they're adults. And that's why they hate teaching kids critical thinking. This book alone won't solve the problem, but it will get kids interested. Get a copy, Kindle, paperback at davidpakman.com/book.